What's up, folks? It is once again Dr. Remy LeBeau, and I am here in the X Lair with a cure to all your extreme ailments related to not having enough statue videos. Today, I have a very cool statue to show you guys. This is the Bowen Designs Havok statue. Alex Summers, the brother of Scott Summers, Cyclops. This summer was produced by his parents, obviously, but the statue was produced by um, Bowen Design, sculpted digitally by Jason Smith, and this is number 649 of 800, produced in 2010. So it's about 3 years old now. Actually, I ordered it when it was first put up for sale, and I had to wait like the year or whatever to for it to be actually released. It was a difficult year. I went through severe depression. I had all sorts of therapy to try to get me out of it, but it didn't work. The only thing that got me out of it was actually receiving the statue, and then, it's like the heavens parted, and like I was happy again. It was nowhere near that serious, but it was one of those statues that like I really like looked forward to quite a bit because I really love Havok. Like I really love Alex Summers. It was something. There was always something about the character that I really loved, and I think what it was like I'm the middle child, and like middle of three, and like I always have like kind of that rebellious sort of edge, whereas my older brother was kind of like the good one, the one that followed all the rules and like always pleased my parents, and so you know Cyclops being like that that guy, also kind of like the good one, the sort of he was always pleasing Xavier. I guess Xavier would be like his parent in the comic. He was like the good guy. He was like the square, and Havok was always the one that kind of had to either try to live up to his brother's image and sort of live up to the standards that were set forth by his brother as far as like how he should behave, or like the other option was to rebel and kind of be his own guy, and kind of have like his own edge, which was like a little bit more sort of rebellious and interesting. And so I've always kind of been felt kind of like a kinship to Mr. Summers here. And beyond that, just I really love the character. Like like I, this particular design of Havok is probably the best design of Havok that exists. It's the original design of Havok. I really like the character design of Havok, the original one. Like this is him in like a lot of sort of the important issues that he exists in like the early Uncanny X-Men stories. There's one really great cover which I should have taken out, but I didn't. It's the one where it's him in the cover, and it just kind of shows him demonstrating his power, and that is actually the first appearance of Mr. Sinister, which is like a super important and awesome like X-Men villain who I love. And just uh, like the first Extinction Agenda cover has him like using his power. He's got this really great power, which is sort of to channel like this photon energy out of him, and like this chest plate that you see here, which is kind of protruding out of the statue, sort of it helps him to focus the power. Um, Actually, I don't know if that's necessarily how it was intended to be in the comics. I know in X-Men First Class, the movie that was released like 2 years ago, which is awesome, in which he was featured as one of the main characters. He actually did have like kind of like a chest plate thing that did help him to control his power and sort of harness it and focus it in a way that was manageable and then usable as a weapon. I don't necessarily think that's the way it actually goes in the comics, but I do like that the element is sort of protruding on his chest in the actual statue. It's a nice choice. Um, it, so this statue did have actually some sort of controversy as far as like that element goes. Like people online kind of had a problem with it. Some of them thought it was just like a plate on his chest, like like a dinner plate on his chest, which is kind of like a silly critique of it. I think it works really well on the statue, and just again because because the statue, so as you can tell, it's like it's very sort of monochromatic overall, like kind of black. Because it's such a simple statue, you're gonna have an element on the chest that's gonna stand out a bit. Like, why not kind of give it that extra special touch? And so, giving it kind of like that clear resin, like tangible shape, that sort of protrudes from his chest, I think works really well and kind of, just adds a little bit more impressive detail to the statue. So, um, uh, let me go through the entire statue. So this X base is sort of the classic X base that's used in most of the X-Men statues that Bowen Designs has produced, but it's actually a little bigger, which is actually very cool. Um, and it's kind of like elevated above, like sort of like a smaller, larger kind of base below the X base, which is nice. Something I think was not seen before this particular statue, just to give it a little more height and a little bit more sort of presence. Um, the actual design of the X, pretty standard as far as the X bases go, but actually the cutouts weren't colored in a different way, and I think that was actually a good choice because overall, like, because the statue is kind of like just black and has a little bit of silver towards the top, like, you don't really want to just throw in a bunch of different colorful elements in the base, which which will just throw off the overall effect of the statue. So I think that was a good move. Um, Side note on this base, I'm pretty sure this is the base that's being used for the Beast statues that are being released in the next few months that were sculpted by the Kucherek brothers. So I haven't really seen other statues with this large base, but I think the Beast statue, which is going to come out, which has like an interesting sort of like pose, like just um, kind of kneeling down and just like ready to attack, is going to have him on this large base. So that's really cool. I really love the variety of X bases that Bowen Designs has been producing. And this is actually probably my favorite though. Okay, so the statue itself, the digital sculpting, this was digitally sculpted, as I said, by Jason Smith. That tends to be kind of like controversial online. Like, people tend to have a problem with that. They feel they're more sort of traditional in their sort of aesthetic desires. Like, they want traditional sculptors to do the work that they are going to buy because I don't know. It's just a matter of preference, and that's their preference, and I respect that. I personally don't have a problem with digital sculpting. I think there's a lot that can be done with digital sculpting, and obviously this statue is proof of that. You can see from this and from the photos that I've posted, like, his musculature is like super detailed. And although obviously, like, as you see online you can see a blog post for my retro Cyclops, the retro Cyclops statue that Bowen Designs did, where that was sculpted traditionally by by Randy Bowen himself. A lot can be done, obviously, with traditional means for like a physique, and a lot of detail can be put into it. But if you want to change something, it's a lot of work. With a digital sculpture, it's like you sculpt the statue digitally, and then maybe leave it alone, then come back to it, and then you can make some severe changes to it, like as far as proportions, etc., really easily, just by changing some of the digital design. So I think because of that, like, this statue in particular, because it's so sort of simple, and it's basically a very muscular man in a tight bodysuit, um, it is able to show like a lot of really fine, intricate, like, anatomical detail and musculature that you may otherwise not have had if it was done by traditional means. That's just my, like, my novice observation of it. And I'm not saying that traditional sculptors can't do a great job and wouldn't have done a great job with the statue, but because the statue is such a good final product, I think it is a testament to like what digital sculpting is capable of, and why people that are sort of averse to it should kind of give it a shot, or not. Whatever. People don't have to do anything they don't want to. Everybody has a right to their own opinion and their own taste, and you can continue thinking and liking the things that you do in the way that you do it. I'm fine with that, but I'm okay with digital sculpting, and this statue is just, again, a testament to what digital sculpting can do. You can see most of the statue is just black, and so what's really great about it is that the light really, and you can see it in the video really well. Like the light really reflects well off of all like the sort of the cuts in the muscles, and it just really pops, and it really comes out really well in person, and obviously in this video as well. And you can see, how much detail was put into designing the physique and the arm, including the arms, the legs, the torso, everything. Just it's great. It's beautiful, and it's exactly what you want, because you don't want to have like bad elements of the body that kind of take away from what you ultimately want to see, which is like Havok. And so I might look at the statue, kind of glance at the body a bit slightly, but then of course immediately my attention is going to go to the face and the head plate, which kind of defines him as being actually Havok, not just like this black muscular body. So immediately I see the body, I'm like, cool, it looks great, and then I look up and there's Alex Summers, and that's what I want to see. So let's look at Alex Summers. Before the face though, you have like this silver like kind of neck area, which is very nice. It's a great touch, and I love that like the silver was used sparingly. It wasn't like, let's throw in a bunch of silver just to make it impressive. No, it's like, yes, the neck area should be silver. Let's make that silver, and then just this headgear thing, this head guard thing should be silver as well, and that's it. And they did that, and it's great. So that looks it's a really great touch, and it really because it's mostly black around it, like the contrast kind of makes it pop even more. Nice, very nice. The face looks awesome. Eyes, the painting on the face is great. The features are great. You can see a close-up of it on my blog. People don't like open mouth for some reason. I love open mouth. Like, I think it's great. It shows the character like basically in an angry pose, about to kick some butt and use his power, which, hey, I mean, that's exactly what you want. You don't want a statue just like, it looks like he's taking like a smoke break, like from fighting a battle. No, I want him in the midst of a battle. I want him about to use his photon energy to kick some sinister butt. That's what I want to see him. That's what the open mouth does for me. Hey, again, preference is everything, and I respect other people's preference. I hope you respect mine as well. Yeah, so open mouth, great, and you can see a lot of detail inside of the mouth as well. So, obviously that's part of the digital sculpting. It allowed them to, focus on all the elements of the statue, including inside of the mouth, which is like a difficult thing to sculpt if you're doing it by traditional means. And then of course there's like that's kind of like that red gem thing with like the gold trim around it, which is like at the forehead area of the head guard, which again, it's done really nicely and it just works really well. And then you got the head guard thing, which again was digitally sculpted. I'm sure it could have been done by traditional means easily, but it came out perfectly, like symmetric, everything straight and curved as it should be, and it looks great. So the one thing about the two things, the chest plate and the head guard, that kind of stand out beyond just like a physique, a traditional physique, both done really well and both look great, and both make the statue look just fantastic. This is a great statue, great. If you haven't gotten it and you want it, I would get it, because there aren't any other Alex Summers statues. There aren't any other Havok statues, even though there should be. Bowen Designs, please, like, let's get a modern Havok out there. Let's get an X Factor, like a Joe Quesada or Quesada. I don't know how to pronounce him. He's like the editor of Marvel now, but he drew X Factor in the 90s during Mutant Genesis, when the new X Factor team was created, which included Guido, a strong guy, Polaris, Wolfsbane, Quicksilver, and I'm probably missing important people. Oh, Multiple Man, duh, JV Madrox, like, and they all had like these interesting costumes. I wouldn't mind a statue of Havok in that costume. I know that a lot of people online do like that era's costumes for Havok and all the X Factor members, so I think it would be cool to make a set of those characters. Like, Havok is an important character. Obviously, the fact that he was used in X-Men First Class is a testament to that. People like the character. He's an important character. So he deserves more attention in the statue universe. So make more attention, please. Give him more attention, please. Like Bowen Designs, make more statues of Havok. Sideshow Collectibles, make a 1/4 scale statue of Havok in this costume and do a good job. If you do a good job, he would be so impressive and he would look great. And I would buy a 1/4 scale statue of Havok in this costume. I think, again, it would be as impressive as this statue. Unfortunately, I mentioned you should get this statue, but unfortunately, people have already jumped on this statue's bandwagon enough to the point where he's not that easy to find, and he's actually gone up in price. Not too much, but enough where it's like it's starting to get a little bit expensive. So I wish you guys luck that don't have him, and if you wind up not getting him, it's okay. Like, you can't get everything. I don't have everything. And hopefully, you know, through my videos and photos and other people's videos and photos, that you can at least enjoy these statues in as much of a realistic way as possible without actually having it available to you. All right, well, that pretty much covers the introduction to this statue. This is, again, Alex Summers, as produced by Bowen Designs in 2010. Fantastic statue. Really, really great statue. Love it so much. Thank you for checking out the video and for your support. My blog is X-Men Statues of Future Past.blogspot.com. My YouTube channel is Dr. Remy LeBeau's X-Lair. And as always, X in the box, because ain't nobody checking me. I'll catch you all very soon. Take care, and thank you again. Bye-bye.